Hey, what is up guys? Like all good boys and girls who want to get better at the game, you always have to check the OCG, and the best place to do it is Road of the King, so I decided to have a check out, see what's been happening for the remainder of 2020. And as expected, most of it is actually filled with Virtual World, then Held Lich, and then, interestingly enough, Dragonmaid's been actually making quite a few tops here. Unlike most people, it's not the regular traditional Dragonmaid where you see people play every single Dragonmaid. No. They're just maxing out on all the good things, such as Dark, the Fire, and the Wind. Obviously, this is like not the expectation for this build, I would have assumed, but I've seen a lot of Dragonmaids doing well on DB recently, mainly because it's one of those decks that you don't see coming as often, and it has a lot of consistency in the fact that it has a lot of recursion, and getting spheres out is a good enough disruption during your opponent's turn and gives you free access to chamber. They also didn't keep in that many of the big dragons because the ones that have the good effects are good. However, you don't need to max out on them because they're always bricks. And as per usual, if you're going to play the new pot card, you have to play multiple targets for every card in your extra deck to actually improve on it. So I think this is a pretty solid list going into the future. As always, when it comes to translating this over to TCG, for the time being, we will not be seeing Maxi anytime soon, and the pot has got a while to come out, so there will always be good substitutes for this. You can take out the Gamma Drivers from the side and put those into the main if you want, or max out with the Skullmasters and Drolls, because against that Drytron matchup, Droll just absolutely destroys it until they open the Call by the Grave. That is. As expected though, the Zodiac Eldritch is still up there with the great decks. Not really much to say about it besides making free Zeus is always good. One of the interesting things that I do see though is it's not playing the Megaclops in the build, which is always a good card. Depending if you open up the Barrage and the going first, you can actually make the free Megaclops and just have that for next turn, which some decks will find hard to outbound because immune to all of the monster effects is always actually a good option. Again, this doesn't actually need that much translating over to TCG because subtracting the maxis again, everything else is actually legal over. For us, the interesting thing that I see with this is the Earth Charmer and the fact that we don't play that really over in the TCG, but it does translate quite well because if you have the mirror match, you can always use Chakanai to make the free Earth Charmer and then steal Trident from their graveyard, and then you effectively have two Tridents. Be like the good old days of Zoo. And then the final usual suspect for this is always the Virtual World, where it just never changes. It's like Necros. 90% of your cards are all going to have to always be the same. The only difference is obviously the OCG have the Crossout Designator, which will make a great impact when it comes over here because loads of mirror matches will be a lot more difficult because everyone mains the Ashes, because by removing an interaction that your opponent has just by banishing the same copy actually does quite a lot. It was seen a great amount of play during the Sky Striker thing because just removing from play one engage can absolutely shut down the deck, and in this circumstance removing from play the Lulu or the Chuchi can actually have a great impact in how the game progresses. They don't end up in full combo, they just kind of get halfway there. So that's all I've got for this segment. I'll probably say that the most interesting part of it all is still the Dragonmaid version, because Dragonmaid's at the end of the day, it's not a deck that people would have thought would do that well. It's just one of those decks that you'd expect would just be at the local level and it wouldn't extend any further, but having constant recursion and the fact that you can bounce the Dragonmaids back to hand to summon the dragon forms of them and then have free access to them next turn are always good, and any deck that plays a good amount of back row as well as an aggressive push with the big fusions is always going to be very good in any sort of format. And I see this deck doing quite well in the future because hopefully the next Boundless Dragoon will be gone and possibly Ben 10 and a lot of other things will be hit, but I don't actually see Dragonmaid being hit in the near future, so it might be one of those decks that just survives the test of time. So thanks guys for watching. I'll be signing out now. Peace.